Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Spirit of Justice. We are heading into the first day of the trial right now, and where did my stylus go? My stylus went this way. Let us begin this trial, then. Now that I have my stylus. So again, what I was saying in the last... why did I save over it? Oops. Didn't mean to save! Continue. So what I was saying earlier is I think the seance starts really early in this game, and I vaguely remember that this was probably the hardest seance for me to get through. It's like worse than, I don't know, I had a harder time going through this one than I did in case 5. And I don't know what it is that was making it so hard for me to get through it. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. But if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe.
Nick, today, well...
Don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. I don't know who's talking. You do well to cease this insanity while you still can. Okay, it's Rafa. I was like, is this Rafa? It sounds like Rafa. It reads like, it reads like Rafa. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last night. The last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? Huh. Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial.
Nick...
I'm going to prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the Plume Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right?
Right. I may be a defendant this time. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick.
Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I'll need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Well, it's time. Let's go. The High Court of Karayan. Oh boy, pretty boy's here. He's so pretty. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. You're praying again. Huh? Quiet! Can't you see Prosecutor Samat? He is absorbing in silent prayer. Great, the trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me.
He's very devout for a prosecutor.
Why is the accused standing over there?
Oh, well...
Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Very well then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul.
That wasn't very nice.
Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seems to be a custom of sorts here in Karayan. I must say, I'm surprised to see you still here in Karayan, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Yeah. Hey, look, it's a real butterfly. Such foolishness. Ah, Prosecutor Samai, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Splendid. I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Submahi. Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Submahi. Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you. So, it was you who instilled that putrid lordly guile within him. Putrid? What? He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. Nervous, Maya?
A little.
Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court.
Too bad I'm the defendant.
Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. Okay, well, technically she wasn't with him, but I mean, there was case 4 in the second game with Matt on guard.
You're right. Let's give this everything we've got, Nick.
Now then, Prosecutor Submahi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. I do love his animations, though. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Trust in Me. I don't want to say thrust, okay? He was conducting the purification rite when he was oh, wow. Wow, every time with the unit, it's really hard for me. Breathe. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. And the cause of death? Let us reveal the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photos, shall we? The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the war-bag dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder. The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as the High Priest of Kirayanism. During the rite, the victim and accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. In Kirayanism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling. There she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years. That's unfortunate. That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to, respond? And here I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain. That's where you're going, right?
I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it.
As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the High Priest in the first place. I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, The meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence Rafa Padma Karayan's insights. That was a mouthful. So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Is that a rhyme? Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess. I'm going to skip the dance in this one. It's Princess Rafa! Oh, how beautiful! Her benevolence looks again today. Glory to the Holy Mother for this blessed day. As popular as ever, I see. Rest assured, good people of Karayan, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on their freedom expressed today. What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Udihara Karayan. She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially for someone who didn't know what the Freedom Express was until yesterday. Is there something stuck to my face, Barbhead? No, nothing, Your Benevolence. Now then, Your Benevolence, the divination seance, if you please. Very well. Nena, my robe.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
We do not need to see that. Appreciated, Rafa, but no. Alright. Oh, goodness, you could skip the seance too? Don't want that. The victim's Mitama has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light, the scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbott and me must have felt. The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable. You want to bet?
But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick.
I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the rites guide explained the multi-part purification rite in detail. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scriptures, while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbhead, would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say. You truly do not know when you're beaten, do you? Of course not. I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insight yet again. It would seem lawyers are Pokonkin creatures indeed. Look at that Pokonkin! Pokonkin! Pokongnin! Pokongnin? What exactly is a Pokongnin?
Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak.
This game is a real piece of work. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbhead, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. Bring it! The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incest-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. And as his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see.
No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes.
You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess' divine insight.
Oh, how did you end up finding contradictions last time?
Wait! Are we having another tutorial? Oh, come on! The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses.
Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the Pool of Souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim.
Yeah, that's how it looked to me, too. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insight the last time.
So, there could be contradictions between what Abbott Inmi felt and her insights, huh?
You got it, and I'm going to find them this time too. Should I check how to point out contradictions in Rafa's insight? No! We did this 2 cases ago. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Albie's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on changes in their intensity too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. We're going to look at the tutorial itself already gave us the hint. If you noticed in the seance, the footprints, they don't get louder. They should get louder if she's approaching, right? The incense got stronger, but the footsteps didn't. You can see how the incense got louder, but this didn't. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No. No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Barbhead. The footsteps are strange because they don't get louder. They're not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sounds of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Ah! Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, Your Benevolence? Well, there must be a reason. It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean?
He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure.
Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your Benevolence, perhaps you must listen more carefully to the Abbot's Midama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with a Midama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Oh, blessed Midama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. Footsteps changed into bells? What could this mean? Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were...
Oh, that jingling must have come from Abbot Inmi's bells.
You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps. Then that means... If the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Stop. Still your voices! This is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that! Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation! While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, Your Benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Samahi? Even if it was Abba and me who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the High Priest to approach. Ah! And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it?
Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well.
Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it.
Understand now, lawyer. That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun.
You rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern.
See, the fact that it was Abbott and me who moved changes nothing.
Ugh. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I point out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. There will be a change, and we're going to see it somewhere around here. Or do we not see it here? Huh. Okay. Oh, well, there it is. Sorry, it happened so fast, but did you notice that the bells changed to water? It happened so fast that I didn't see it happening. So, if he was going towards the broken lantern, he wouldn't have been running into water. So let's see if I can select it, even though it's faded out. Objection! Okay, good. We can still pick it.
Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? Huh. That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbott and me would have adhered to them.
Adhere. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point.
What's this?
It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh? Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction.
What contradiction?
I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Pokonka! That is absurd! This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates.
Ah!
Then, where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Do you really believe the accused was standing there? Did I hit the statue? Not when you say it that way, Your Majesty. Keep making sloppy statements like that, Mr. Wright, and I'll have your tongue. Please, anything but the chop. Then let's have an actual answer out of you. Where do you believe the accused was actually standing? Okay, come on. I hit the spring, but I guess I didn't. So nitpicky. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abba and me and Miss Faye were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this rights guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing,
He couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Faye had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. What is going on here, Miss Faye? Were you really standing in the spring?
I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite.
The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite. What on earth? Is that even possible? Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions, is what? That their position differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. That's true. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Urgh.
Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about.
Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? But that does seem strange. Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? Huh. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. And when she amends that, we will stop there. You rush the accused and try to fight her off by the poolside lantern. Alright. Now, the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright?
Nick?
Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection. But her benevolence's insight have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. No, we're gonna look at it again. Wait a second. But there is another contradiction. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here.
Sorry. I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights.
That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I think she would at least know if she was standing in water or on solid ground, but you know, I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abbott and me were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Can I save during this thing? Yes, I can. Good. Alright, we're gonna stop here for now and continue on to the rest of this part of this insight in the next video. See you guys then.